every Nigerian's lip at this point, aside from the Dangote story. But there was one person in particular who happens to be an aide to the president of Nigeria right now. And he tweeted something about, the silent majority of Nigerians that are ready to come out to defend Nigeria against protesters. And after he made that tweet, immediately, typical Nigerians, we are always as active as you can imagine. People started going back and forth into all of his old tweets, all of his old handles, where he actually was one of the voices who actually spoke up for protests. Like, he was so active on how important protest is, how much he has involved in protest, and how much protest is the only way to save Nigeria. And it begets the question, why the hypocrisy? Why is it that when Nigerians, not just him, it's a typical thing with Nigerians, when we are not benefiting from something, we outrightly say, hey, we are against this. But the moment we are in the system, we go against our words. We turn to people who, who do not revere our own words, who we can't even, where you say something and people cannot even believe what you say, because at the end of the day, you can go back on your words. And why are we that kind of people? Anyways, it's a good morning to you all listening to me right here at this point. And I'm always in love with Wednesdays, not just because I'm here talking to you people, but because I will not be doing that alone. I'm always in the mix of two beautiful people. Other days one person, but today it's always two. So I'm always blessed to be in the midst of two beautiful people. My name is Uche Okorie, and of course I have two other persons here with me in the house.
Hello, good morning, citizens. My name is Toluwase Akinwumi. How are you doing, Uche?
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you had an amazing night and a good morning too.
Yeah, I did.
Alright, good morning, Uche. Good morning, Toluwase once again. My name is Oluwatomi Owoborode, and it's exciting that I'm on the newspaper review with you both this morning. And you speaking about, the everything on social media, the tweets and all like that. Yeah, and the man has come out to say that at no point in my posts did I say don't protest. But the narrative setters told you what to think, and you decided to suspend logic. Protests are a fundamental right of all citizens. Destroying your country and burning it to the ground is not patriotism, and it will be resisted. He also said, if my old posts have taught you nothing, it should teach you that votes, not protests, nor chest thumping on social media can bring you the leader of your dreams. Do it at the ballot box like we did in 2015. This man is trying to teach Nigerians how to understand. But yeah, the thing I love about Nigerians is the fact that they cannot be wrong. You can't tell them they went all the way back to 2013 tweets. 2013, like
2011,
2000.
Not even.
It was like, when you say that we are natural investigators, just to put us there, we are natural investigators. When we put our mind to something, we'll make sure that we achieve that into the latter. And now Nigerians are going for him and saying that you did this in the era of good luck. Yes.
There was actually a protest.
You did the era of good luck.
You can't say
the era of
it's only
PDP.
on the election ballots that
I am not telling us that we should not go, Nigerians should not go on protest because of how they are feeling, and they are not telling us that we should comprehend your tweets better. They are not logical about it. Sir, I don't think Nigerians feel that way. I feel like if you want to even put out a tweet, it should be more more intelligent that people can actually read through to say, oh, this is what you meant, this is what your tweets didn't mean what you're trying to explain now. You've you've broken the egg already, and you're not saying, do you want to fry it or boil it? You can't boil your broken egg again, except you want to put it into a nylon or something and say that
there's
you
always
understand.
a tactic available.
Right, yeah.
Always a tactic available for people, especially when they want to avoid things. But hey, it is what it is. We've seen what we've seen. We've heard what we've heard, and as time goes on, the truth will continue to unfold. We'll continue to get to see more details. We'll continue to find out more about things that are happening. But at this point, remember, you can be part of the conversation. Remember, you can get to tell us too. what you feel, how you feel about things that are going on in Nigeria, around your environment and all that. And the only way for you to do that is if you call us up on 0700 1021 1021. I take that one more time. You call us up on 0700 1021 1021. Or you can also send us a WhatsApp message or a regular text message on 0907 224 5018. 0907 224 5018. And remember, you can watch us live on YouTube, you can watch us live on Facebook, you can watch us live everywhere on your social media. And the only way for you to do that is if you follow us up on our social media handles. And on Facebook, we're at iImpact Radio 1021 FM. On Twitter, X, as it's called now, at iImpact 1021 FM. On Instagram at iImpact 1021 FM. On YouTube, you can watch us at iImpact 102.1 FM. On Facebook, it's iImpact Radio 1021 FM. That is where you can get us live. And of course, we'll get to give you all of the details. But let's go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll go into the papers in full.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
iImpact Radio 102.1 FM. It is the newspaper review in case you are just joining us. Welcome to the show. And of course, we are about to go into the papers proper, where we give you all of the headlines this morning on our major dailies. And one of the ones we'll be starting with today is the Daily Trust newspaper. And it leads with a big one. Yes, shelf protest. Tinubu begs Nigerians. Shelf protest. Tinubu begs Nigerians, and has two writers to this particular story saying, violent protest ill-advised. That's according to the IGP. Citizens have constitutional rights to complain. That is according to Atiku. So in case you want to find out more about this story, you need to go grab the Daily Trust newspaper for you to find details of this story this morning. Like I said with the beginning of the show, it is the protest on everyone's lips, and almost every Nigerian is looking forward to what's going to happen or what won't happen. Well, like I said, time will tell if it's going to go as they plan or if it's going to go somewhere else. We all want to find out what will happen. August 1st, some people say July 28th, different dates for the protest, and every Nigerian is looking forward to it. So many stories on the Daily Trust. One of them still be Egbetoku may enjoy tenure extension as National Assembly amends Police Act. In case you want to find out about that story, you get the papers. Page 6 of the Daily Trust has more of that story for you. Beside that one, reps demand NMDPRA CEO suspension over Dangote refinery comment. Reps demand NMDPRA CEO suspension over Dangote's refinery comment. Beside that story, we have Senator Barrow hails Tinubu for signing Northwest Development Commission bill into law. You want to find out about our story? Page 4 is where you're going to get details of that particular story. The Northwest Development Commission has been signed into law. Just below the big story here, we see again CBN raises interest rate by 50% basis points to 26.75%. In case you want to find out about that story, you need to go grab the papers. Page 23 is where that story is. 2 days ago or yesterday, I believe, we saw about this whole interest rate increase. And I said it specifically, there's no economy or no growing economy in the world that wants to actually grow, that needs manufacturing, that needs people to actually invest in their economy, would have an interest rate, a double-digit interest rate, more or less at 26.75%. That is so much huge. We were complaining about interest rates being double digits way back in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, and that was at 11% interest rate. And now at this point, we're talking about 26.75% interest rate. Wow. How would people invest when the interest rate is this high? Well, behind the, below that story, we have man sentenced to life in prison for raping 8-year-old deaf girl. Sentenced to life in prison for raping 8-year-old deaf girl. That's page 31 in case you want to find out more about that story. Ripples over proposed inclusion of foreigners in Nigerians' NIN registration. Ripples over proposed inclusion of foreigners in Nigerians' NIN registration. You want to find out more? Page 3 has more for you for that story. And there's a big picture on the Daily Trust newspaper. The moment I saw this big picture on the Daily Trust newspaper and I saw the headline, Gabon President invites Dangote to invest in cement, fertilizer production, one thing came to my mind. It was just like a picture of saying, when a guy has, a lady that loves him so much, or, ready to do everything, and probably is being treated bad by the guy, then it gets to go out, or she gets to go out normally on a normal day, and maybe someone approaches her that likes her and snaps a picture with her. Then she posts on social media and say, hey, I'm still wanted out there. This is what you might be missing out on. Don't take me for granted. I think that's what this Dangote picture with the Gabon president looks like to me. Like, hey, if you're thinking I'm not hot, the people still want me out there. That's what the Dangote picture painted for me the moment I saw it. So that's the much we can take on the Daily Trust this morning.
And moving on to the Guardian, we have right here headlines say inflation, weak fiscal support pushes CBN to further rate hikes, credit squeeze. Inflation, weak fiscal support pushes CBN to further rate hikes, credit squeeze. We have, you want to get more of that story, that is on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper. Below it, we have NASS OK 70,000 naira minimum wage and adjust 2024 budget by 6.2 trillion naira. NASS OK 70,000 naira minimum wage and adjust 2024 budget by 6.2 trillion naira. That is on page 3. And below it also we have House of Reps orders NERC discuss to reverse band 8 tariff hike. Same news, same page if you want to get more of that news too. And also we have additional backs Dangote as Kyari denies owning overseas refinery. Additional backs Dangote as Kyari denies owning overseas refinery. More of that is on page 15. We also have more here. Senate passes Police Act bill, extends IGP's tenure till 2027. Senate passes Police Act bill, extends IGP's tenure till 2027. You can find more of that news on page 5. Moving on, we also have Nigeria working to overtake world economies, says Shettima. That's our vice president. Nigeria working to overtake world economies, says Shettima. That is on page 30 if you want to get more updates on that. Beside it, on the right hand side, it says Atiku backs planned protest as Tinubu begs Nigerians. Atiku backs planned protest as Tinubu begs Nigerians. This is a back and forth. Someone wants it to happen, another doesn't want it to happen. So right here we have you can find all of that on page 6. Atiku backs planned protest as Tinubu begs Nigerians. And below it, same picture as we just took from the Daily Trust of the president of Gabon, and of course Aliko Dangote right here. So for the Guardian newspaper, that is all we have. That is all we have.
0700-1021-1021 is the number for you to call, or you can send us a text message or a WhatsApp message on 0907 224 5018. Any of the story that caught your attention this morning. And we are streaming live on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM and on Facebook at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. And yes, I have the Punch newspaper with me. The major story on the front page of the Punch says nationwide protest. Nationwide protest. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. And two writers are saying Tinubu urges youth to shelve August 1 rally. Atiku, LP caution against protesters' arrest. I feel like, people are trying to avoid the October 2020, situation that happened at Lekki Toll Gate, and that's why some people are even saying, people are trying to call their loved ones and say, please don't go, don't join them, don't join them. We've been in this for a very long time and nothing has changed and all like that. I feel like that's why people are trying to say these. Yes, the president has urged the youth. This is another recurring story that came from the Daily Trust newspaper, bringing on to say that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is saying that they should shelve the protest. And we have a call. We have a call this morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, call us back on 0700-1021-1021. Moving on, the second rider, Egbeto Kun warns anti-government protesters, says Nigeria hasn't recovered from NSAS. You see, I'll just say this. It says Nigerians hasn't recovered from NSAS. And yes, that is very, very true. And you can read that on page 2 of the Punch. Above the nameplate on the front page says National Assembly okays 70,000 naira wage, Labour to meet governors. National Assembly okays 70,000 naira wage, Labour to meet governors. I saw that yesterday on social media, where the National Assembly agreed and okayed the 70,000 naira wage. You can read that on page 7 for more details on that particular headline. And Senate approves IGP's tenure extension. Senate approves IGP's tenure extension. You can read that on page 16. Federal government votes 2 trillion naira for Lagos Calabar others. Federal government votes 2 trillion naira for Lagos Calabar others. At page 25. I hope that the Lagos Abeokuta Expressway is also part of this, because that particular road is actually a one-way is a death trap. I would not lie, because they drive against traffic because of the other parts of the road is bad, like completely bad. It is really, really bad. You cannot, it's not accessible, and so they drive facing one another. Do you understand? And it's very, very deadly if it's in the night or early in the mornings, because we see a lot of accident that happens on that road. Because I pass through that road every morning, so we see. I always pray to God, oh God, oh please, guy. I'm always very scared on that particular road. So I hope
can imagine,
right? So and there are a lot of trucks that pass through that road as well, because it is a lot of industrial going through Ogun State and everything. So it's a lot of is a death trap. I would just say that. So I hope that it's part of that particular 2 trillion naira that federal government has actually approved. So you can read that on page 25 of the newspaper this morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, moving away from that, drama as representatives order WAEC officials detention. Wow, drama as representatives order WAEC officials detention. You can read that on page 7 of the newspaper. And yes, beneath, military hands over rescued Chibok girl, 330 others to Borno government. Military and over rescued Chibok girl, 330 others to Borno government. I cannot believe that it's over 10 years now, right? It's a decade now, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Over
It's
there.
very very disheartening. It's very disheartening that the girls. I don't know if when they come back to the society again, they would actually understand what it means to be amongst
Man.
people, amongst people that actually try to reason with them. It's gonna be a lot.
It's going to be a whole lot because this is people coming from years of captivity, years of doing things they do not. I think if you look at this story, I think she's the girl that said she got married to about, was it 8 or 11 terrorists, and I'm like, wow, in how many years you've been
It
moved to different men, about 8 men, like all your life.
And they are teenagers.
Yeah, they're
great
really young.
teenagers.
It's
Like for a very young
Very.
age, like you've not even lived a life
Yes,
yet, and
yes.
the only life you know is you being in captivity and being married off to different men.
Men.
That is not a good life for,
It is
for,
not.
for a young girl,
It
and
is not.
I feel their pain, and I think more needs to be done in terms of bringing them back into the society. There needs to
society.
be some sort of psychological
Yes.
thing
Yes,
done with
important.
them so as to bring them back into that society so they can feel it will only take a miracle for someone to go into that kind of situation and come out and relate easily in
Yes.
the society.
Yes, so
only
yeah.
a miracle would do that.
Exactly. So, like I said, they need psychological examination and they need therapy. They need a lot of therapy. When I say a lot of therapy, they really. I don't know if they have that. They should have psychologists and therapists in the government
Well.
that actually works. I hope.
I mean,
Well.
they will have.
know.
They will
I hope
have.
because
I
in
mean,
developed countries, that's what they do. Even
They will
in developed countries, if you witness a shooting incident, you are going through therapy. Like you are going into immediately because there's some things that you cannot even you cannot assimilate. You'll be sleeping and you'll be thinking about how the person got shot, or person just died in front of you. So you are going into therapy immediately.
Well, I think Nigerian government should have. We've seen news of.
will
of.
have. I
Well,
mean,
well,
come on.
I'm saying
They will
because
have.
we've seen news of.
It's not that bad.
We've seen news of repentant Boko Haram terrorists rehabilitated into the society.
That was a story for another day
So
because
if they can be rehabilitated, I'm guessing there must be very special, psychologists,
Amen.
And all that to
hope
have
they will have.
rehabilitated people who have decided that, hey, we want to kill people for a living, but now we don't want to kill anymore.
anymore,
So
yeah.
more or less for people who went into this kind of situation, I'm sure we have the doctors and the
why are you
psychologists.
saying that sarcastically?
Sarcastically, you're the one who said I'm saying it sarcastically.
Right?
I'm just saying we've actually rehabilitated a lot of terrorists back into the society. It's a fact.
yes, it is. It is in
Ooh,
fact.
so-
And it's a topic. Like I said, it's a topic for another day because you go to developed countries, terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't do that.
Honestly, and we're rehabilitating a lot of them, and we call them repentance.
Repentant.
So
Well, away from that, because like I said, it is a long topic that if we should just dive on it right now, would not live here this morning.
Honestly, we
yeah,
won't.
exactly. So Malta plans, Kiari accountants, Dangote amid calls for probe. You can read that on page 21. Mohbad's family conducts fresh autopsy. Page 5. This is very disheartening because the body of these deceased, the need to have gotten to the ground already. It needs to have been buried. It's just going through a lot. He was alive, he went through a lot. He's dead now and he's going through a lot back and forth. It's September last year and it's going to be a year rather, this in 2 months time. And I feel like these things should be done fast. But you can read the full details on page 5 of the newspaper. Abductors got 5 million naira ransom, says freed coppers. Our abductors got 5 million naira ransom, says freed coppers. You can read that on page 4 and 5. I remember when I was 7 and we went to the leave camp. That's on the last day of camp, and people were wearing their clothes and everything to travel. And our state coordinator there was like, people should know where your you should not go home now. If you just stay one place, you change your clothes. Don't wear your comment. Don't wear your NYC where you are traveling. This and this. And I understand what she was. She's a woman, obviously, and she was saying. I understand what she was saying. Probably she has seen a lot because she's a state coordinator for years, and she has seen a lot. She's gone through a lot to know that this person's their government. You call your government children.
Yeah.
So
So,
saw
yeah.
it as a flex.
Exactly,
They felt it was
exactly.
a huge flex. Like
no,
when you
no, it's not so far.
I remember traveling while coming back, and I saw some people in vehicles because road travel. I served in Abuja, and I was coming back to Lagos, and I remember seeing core members in buses, all wearing core uniform. I knew I was part of them, but there was this different flex they had in their mindset. Some even came down to conduct traffic and all that. And I was like, okay.
That's how
all of us
that is
how
it's actually supposed to be.
Yeah, normal. It's meant to be normal, but our
when we wear
society
the
now,
uniform, it's not supposed
it's a huge
to
thing.
be.
Yeah, it is.
All of a sudden, it's more like
You're not safe.
it's like an advertisement, like
kidnap me.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
It's
It is
terrible.
terrible.
It's how it's meant to
not.
be. I remember having an issue with the police in Abuja, and the moment I put out my core member ID card, there was this different kind of
Yes,
respect
yes.
Yeah, they
given.
do
I'm like,
that.
oh, okay. And they were ready to listen to me, and everything was sorted out. But now,
you know that call member are they're in the paramilitary.
They always call them that.
Yes, that's what they are, because you go through drills in camp, so they see you like a military person, a personnel. I remember then in Delta State, I was it's always a flexure. I would not
Anyway.
lie. Yeah.
Well, let's
That's what I have on the front page of the pod.
before we go back in reminiscing old stuff.
I did not throw back yet.
Okay, on the final one, the Vanguard newspaper as quick as possible. Let's take this one. Nasima orders kick as CBN hikes interest rate to 26.75%. You want to look about that story. Page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper has more of that story for you. So many writers on this one, so you need to go get the Vanguard newspaper for you to look at them and get the info that you need. Suitable to youth, protest needless. I am addressing your grievances. Right after that story, as Onanuga Obi face-off takes new twist. That is page 5 of that story. In case you want to find out the new twist, it has something to do with courts and suits and cases and all that and all that. 5 billion, 500 million, different amounts of money flying here and there. Well, below that one, Dangote NNPCL feud worrisome. That's according to Obi, Adeshino and Otedola. Page 9 has more for you on that one. Lagos billionaire kidnappers. Last minute conversation before they struck at Ladipo. You want to find out about that story? Page 6 is where you're going to find it on the Guardian newspaper. Finally, NAS passes 70,000 naira minimum wage bill into law. Page 8 has that story for you to look at this beautiful morning. That is the Vanguard for you this morning. Before we go on a short break and get our analysts to come up immediately after the break, let's read this message. This one is coming from one of our citizens. It says, good morning, I Impact Radio and my presenters in the house. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
On the high interest rates, I have concluded within myself that this Tinubu administration lack good economic policy and don't have good economic advisors. It seems they don't go to the school at all. Well, they are just making noise on air with high propaganda without any implementation. Tinubu is begging Nigerians not to embark on protest, but is not having a proactive administration. Did he want Nigerian poor masses to die of hunger? If he cannot handle the country, he can resign. The whole situation in the country is full of propaganda and highly annoying. High level of expenditure from the government every day without positive impact in the country. What type of leadership system is Tinubu administration practicing? That is what this I don't know the person's name. He or she didn't include.
That's John Amodu.
Okay, John Amodu.
Yeah,
okay, this is John Amodu's opinion this fine morning, and he asked a pertinent question: what type of leadership system is this administration passing? Well, let's go on a short break, and when we come back, our analysts will be in the house so we can discuss the papers in full. Don't go nowhere.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
You better be ready to say hello to the cool cash that's about to splash your way. High Cash Splash is gonna make it rain. What do I do? Simply dial the USSD code *347 *972 #. Select the amount of tickets you want to purchase, select your bank, and then you'll get an SMS with 2 payment options. Make payment and you stand a chance to win with just 500 naira. Or visit highcashflash.com for more details.
Weird.
It's popping up on selected shows on High Impact Radio 1021. So remember, the more you play, the higher your chances of winning cool cash on the High Cash Splash raffle draw.
High Cash Splash is powered by Lasho Trading Services Limited and licensed by Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Authority. Not suited for anyone under 18. Play responsibly.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. It's about to go down.
So you just won yourself 25,000 naira. Amazing! Juliana, did you play a certain game to win money during the course of this month?
Yes, I played.
You played, Juliana. How many times did you play?
I played once.
You played once and you won, Juliana! Woo! Do you know how much you're walking away with?
How much?
25,000 naira. For your 500 naira that you played, 25,000 naira, honey.
Oh my goodness, yesterday was my birthday.
Yesterday was your birthday! Yesterday was my birthday too! This is so much fun! Congratulations, Juliana. I'm super happy for you. This is the perfect birthday gift.
Yes.
Now you've got 25,000 naira in the bag.
Congratulations to myself.
Congratulations to yourself. I like that spirit, Daniel.
High Cash Splash is powered by Lasho Trading Services Limited and licensed by Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Authority. Not suited for anyone under 18. Play responsibly. Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information,
Call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. You are listening to the newspaper review this morning. Of course, it is 22 minutes before 8 a.m. and our analyst is already in-house, ready to help us decipher into all the papers that we have this morning. Remember, you can be part of the conversation if you send a text message or WhatsApp message to 0907-224-5018, or you can call the studio line on 0700-1021-1021. Good morning, Mr. Session Kunade. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good morning, the UT Square, Uche, Tola, and Tommy, and to all our listeners across the globe, a very beautiful, drizzling Wednesday morning.
Definitely. I like the new name, UT Square. Wow.
Right,
I wasn't expecting that one.
Nice one. I love
Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the show this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I need to start with a big one, obviously. The protest is on everyone's lips. Everyone is talking about it. We've got to see so many points from counter oppositions. We've seen different interviews from different groups, northern groups, indigents of Abuja, different kind of groups saying, hey, we're not part of the protest. Some say, you know how it is in Nigeria, different part of the media. We've seen media aid saying stuff, different stuff, and we've seen Nigerians come out to say, hey, this is a must. Do you think the government is actually trying to, stop the people from actually, doing their civic rights, which is to protest? Do you think the government is trying to gag the people? In your own opinion, do you think that's what they are doing at this point?
Okay, thank you very much. I would say that I will not attribute it to government guiding people of their fundamental rights. The truth is, the last experience we had October 2020, really sends a deep signal of saying that there is nothing like peaceful protest. Even when the citizen who has a fundamental right have that intention to carry out a peaceful we've seen instances where the hoodlums, who we all know are machinery in the hands of some of these politicians, come to attack a peaceful mission and becomes, you see, the other people who are peaceful to add some of these guys who are not peaceful. You will see a guy with suits and tie. He's only corporate because of the work he's doing. If you try to trample on his right, he will remove that coat and tie. And he will show you the other part, that legalism, he abandoned it for a reason, because he decided to pursue his or her career. And that's when he do not turn bloody. That is the major concern of majority of us. If you ask me, in my candid opinion, I feel it's high time. Some of the things we are doing on air is like protesting. When you speak out your mind against some of the issues that are actually affecting individuals and businesses, you are protesting. You are not romancing them. You are telling them we have certain failures that needs to be addressed. But you see, when we now come out, it's inevitable. There are certain set of people, and that's why people will say, these talks you're talking about, even though they are feeling the pain you and I are feeling, but because they do not have a deep thought, when the politician gives them certain amount of money, they say, go and distort that peaceful plan of these protesters. And those ones will revolt back, and it becomes chaotic. And that's why we said that, you see, when the people, I listened to you and Tommy and Tola talking about that particular man that was advising the younger generation the impact of protest, we can tell them for free that when they had their own protest there were loss of life, but they were able to pass the message. But we are not encouraging that is the way to go. But why do we have to wait till this time that you push people to the wall? Just yesterday again, we saw from the MPC the increase in interest rate. How do you expect businesses to survive? When businesses are not surviving, it's inevitable unemployment will be on the increase, because business owners will not be able to carry out their major businesses. So these are areas where we feel government needs. Insecurity keeps increasing. You just read of how people are paying ransom to get people now abandon law enforcement agencies that please don't get involved. We will negotiate ourselves and get our people out. Does that work in a sane environment? And you want people to keep quiet? Can you beat a child? And you see, even those days while we are growing up, when they beat you and they say, you will still cry out because the pain. It's not them asking you to be firm or to keep quiet. It's the pain that is making you to cry out. The hardship is much. In as much I will say that I don't support protest, because the law enforcement agency that are supposed to provide the security will not be out there to do that. They cannot even face these hoodlums. When they come from the other side, the same hoodlum that is crying will be the one that is facing you, because somebody has given them 2,000, 3,000 that they will use to take that other side. So that's just the problem. If the government can stand up to protect the protesters against those that will challenge the status quo, it's our time we lend our voice. Look at what the African richest man is facing. People can come to say monopoly. I keep saying Elon Musk of US monopolizes this issue of satellite stuff. The government gave him backing because he's providing employment. Dangote is the single largest employer of labor in the private sector. And we are looking for way. Look, he has altered the issue of his steel industry, which should have created employment for people. If he decides to move his industries away from here to nearby country in Ghana and they welcome it, what becomes of us in our own country here? We've seen companies from China being supported by their government, individuals. These are businesses that we are faced with, and government just need to rise up. The approach of the president may seem right. He's begging that please, I'm addressing the issue. Or do we have to wait this far before we start, responding to the pain? Uche, the UT Square, the pain is much. I must say it. Businesses are not smiling. You can imagine the energy cost that we are faced with. Businesses keeps going down the drain. People are retrenching. They cannot even add the 70,000 that have actually been projected as the minimum wage. Most private organizations cannot maintain it. How do you expect somebody who has a supermarket shop, who runs on power, on alternative power with the cost of diesel, to maintain status quo? These are issues. Government should be sensitive to our plight. And please act, not until when you hear, now you are talking about giving us a palliative, sharing 20 trucks of rice.
Yeah.
I'm about saying that, Uche, please, if you get your own, just share with me, because I know you will tag me that I'm not part of the vulnerable. Meanwhile, some of us are even, subsidizing for people around. On daily basis, you wake up, it is about, I don't have anything to eat. And you ask yourself, me, have I eaten?
True. We get to see people every day.
As much as possible. If businesses if the business environment is so conducive for businesses to grow, you will see that there will be less pressure. I can tell you why this thing might be on that other side is a lot of people, as we speak, are at home doing nothing. Those that are out of the youth are not having any engagement. So there will be a tool to be used to carry out these protests because they are expressing their mind. They are made out there outside the shore of this country, have something to engage themselves in after leaving the school. So for me, I think it's the law enforcement agency we should engage. Protest is the civil right of everyone, but what are the machinery that you are putting in place to say that we are out to protect the protesters against those that will be, our machinery to attack them to make it unrest for us to move on?
Well, you've touched so much while we're talking about the protests. You've touched into interest rates and how it's not working for us because we need a better business-friendly environment. You've spoken about Dangote. These are major things happening in the news, and we know how important Dangote is to the economy of Nigeria. We also saw pictures of him being, courted by Gabon for him to, come over and invest in their fertilizer and as well as their, the cement industry and all that. But one other factor that keeps affecting Nigeria to this point, and which also happens to be one of the most important factor, is insecurity. And we saw recent on the newspapers where one Chibok girl, at this time of the year we are still seeing release of Chibok girl. There's also possibilities that so many of them are still captured, and 330 persons were also released to the Borno State government. Why at this time, at this point in Nigeria, we have not been able to, curb insecurity? Does this, go to show that the people are right and say probably the government is not politically invested in stopping insecurity, or probably there's some sort of cabal, gaining from this insecurity? Does that mean the government do not have the political will to actually stop it?
Yeah, Uche, what I would say is government may be trying their best, but this I have to say that their best is not good enough, like we always have out there. The level of insecurity is that it has affected a lot of business, and we ask ourselves, the efforts by government and the investment, is it yielding the desired result? I listened to Tommy when she was reacting to rehabilitating some of these so-called terrorists into the environment. And you look at the people that are actually being displaced, still existing in IDPs, unable to get back
into
to their homes and the businesses that they are doing. You ask yourself, that's a psychological trauma for every sane person to ask yourself. And this same set of people, one thing we are not getting clear is that these people that you are calling repentant terrorists that have actually yielded their floor no longer carry arms, but they carry something that is much more powerful than arms, and that is information. See, it's difficult for you to discontinue or disconnect them from their source. They don't carry arms, but they give information of individuals, and information is more powerful than arms. If you carry ammunition and you don't have information of where your attackers are coming from, they will get hold of you, and that ammunition becomes a waste. But if you have information that you have to face the right, a pre-knowledge or a pre-information that this is where they will strike from, you will be prepared to eat back at some of those things. Those are areas of concern to me. That fine, we are saying that these people are repentant, but do we monitor their activities? A lot of them are filtered into the environment, into the society, providing information about individuals here and there. Because you ask yourself, if we are reducing the number, we are asking that these people are repentant. Why is it that there is increase and we still put so much pressure on the security agency? People like us have said something which they consider that is not the best way. If you have killed by the sword, go by the sword too. I think that you even open up that you are a confirmed terrorist, but you want to yield the floor. What I think I should do, if I'm in position, forgiveness is of the Lord, not of human. Go and ask for forgiveness from God. When you get to heaven, settle it with your God, so that we can reduce your numbers.
True.
People will say that is hard or it's harsh, but I think because they are providing information, it's not even safe for business owners to travel, because they mingle around. Some of them have turned themselves to be security, for the people. You go ahead and say, I need a security man in my house. This man has come. They said he's this, but he's the one providing information. You can imagine how kidnapping is still ravaging even across the nation. No place is exempted. So I feel that this act of granting amnesty and saying some people are repentant, it's wrong by my own part, because they are arming those that are out there with more information on how to go about things against the will of the people, and it needs to be addressed. That is why the effort that the government is putting in seems to be counterproductive, because as we are working, there are people that are providing ammunition, and we are losing our gallant officers in the hands of those people, because when they even plan, they do that because we know some of them that were integrated into security app for some states to actually be protecting the people as vigilante. So they give information, and you discover they act as mold to some of these people that are actually working, and you expect security to be tight. It's not going to work. And these are areas we feel that the government needs to look. We are in a democratic setting. There are ways you can handle these people in such a way that rather than bringing them to the environment, because there is no amount of psyche you can give to them. They've been with these people for years. It's like you picking somebody who is a prostitute and say you're winning, on the part of religion side. If he gets hold of the minister of God, he will delay him because he has the skill.
Okay.
And that's what he has practiced for years.
True.
So these are areas we want the government to look. We know they are trying their best, but they seems to be having a counterproductive in this area of security by actually granting amnesty to people who has actually owned up that they are actually bandits and terrorists or kidnappers, and they are already threat to the environment. That's just what I want to give in terms of that security issues.
Okay, and that's a fine way for us to leave it this beautiful Wednesday morning, because we have, run out of time. Thank you so much, Mr. Session Okunade, for joining us this morning to help us decipher what's happening on the papers this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, the UT Square. Great to have the Wednesday morning with you. I wish you a very beautiful day.
Same here, and you too, sir.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. Have yourself a lovely day. We have been speaking to a public affairs analyst, Mr. Sheson Okunade, as he helps us decipher so many things making, headlines on the papers this morning. And we have so many messages here. Yes, Tolu, you want to take one of them?
John Amadu actually probably while we're discussing, he also reacted to this. He said the Nigerian populace had been pushed to the wall. Many companies have shut down operations. Our young graduates are unemployed and they are still increasing interest rates. Do they want all the companies to fold up and go to neighboring countries? Are our leaders human at all? It is highly surprising. That is a reaction from John Amodu. Another one here from Victor Aya from Ogba says, good morning, High Impact. It is surprising that President Bola Tinubu is against protest when he, Buhari, Baba Adeboye and so on protested regularly against ex-President Jonathan's government. Was it not government officials that introduced violence into the NSAS protest in 2020? Didn't we have protests in Nigeria before NSAS protest? Were they violent? It is the right of Nigerians to protest against bad governance. And another one here says, happy midweek, High Impact. Instead of this government dissipating so much energy and deploying all their arsenals in an attempt to stop a mere peaceful protest by Nigerians because of harsh economic realities, let them address the cogent issues sincerely, transparently, and holistically. This is from Joseph Ayo from Alambe. That is all. Where
Oh, fine one. Nigerians having their opinions, different opinions, sharing different opinions, and obviously, like every other person, we're all feeling it one way or the other. If it's in terms of electricity tariff, it will come in terms of fuel. If it doesn't come in terms of fuel, you must meet it at the market because you
I mean, you gotta eat every day.
you need to go get food. So basically, we're all facing the brunt, and I know so many persons have different reasons why they want to come out and lend their voice. But it's also important for us to be careful. In as much as you want to lend your voice and lead a protest, it's also important for you to be careful and be sensitive around people that are around you, because you have to be sure of the people who are around you protesting with you. Some of them do not have the same intentions you have. Some of them have intentions of looting. Some of them have intentions of causing havoc or even destroying the protest in guise of like being part of you. So you need to be careful. You need to be sure of what you are doing, so you're not going to be or find yourself wanting in the wrong side of the protest. We just need to be careful,
Exactly. We really need to be careful. I'm going to take a cue from what Joseph Ayo said to say that the government should actually respond to the economy and not focus on a peaceful protest. It's very important. I understand where the government is coming from as well, because if there should be another case of the 2020 incident, it's going to still pull down on them to say that, okay, your country is not doing good, and they will leave the economy aside to focus on that. Because at 2020, at the end of 2020, it was all about NSAS, all about NSAS, and we didn't even think of anything else, and we just wanted to let it just go and everything. So I understand where the government is coming from, and I understand where Nigerians are also coming from as well, because it's gonna be like the grass is gonna suffer for it when two elephants fight. That is a good way to wrap up the news this morning.
Definitely.
Great. My name is Oluwatomi Owoborode.
And I am Toluwase Akinwumi.
Well, thank you so much for being part of the show. Remember, we will be back again tomorrow, Thursday morning, to give you another exciting edition of the newspaper review right here on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. My name is Uche Okorie. Have yourself a beautiful Wednesday ahead.
Mondays to Fridays,